Life is hard. Life is by design challenging and ever-changing. And as we are contained in these bodies that are sensitive to the changes in the body, there's pain. Pain is a signal that cues the system into there's a threat, whether to this immediate organism or to the environment or to the social organism that I'm embedded in. These are the givens. The fact that we're always changing, that the fact that we hurt, we will experience inevitable hurt. And when we resist it or avoid or fight against the nature of these things, then we hurt more on different levels, not just physically, but psychologically, emotionally, energetically. We hurt by being disconnected in some way from our nature to fluidly move through the modulations of the difficulty of human life. And it's not even that we actually separate, but that we try. We're always trying. So what wants to be talked about is is kind of the absence of improving on this reality. But rather the ability, our birthright, to be secure within this reality. It's so easy to get caught up in improvement, whether it's cognitive improvement, physical improvement, spiritual improvement. So easy to get on this unconscious track from here to there. Because that's the track we're presented with. And that's the track that our species inherently plays out, runs down, unless or until there is a radical shift to deeply realize beyond this track, beyond this trajectory, beyond the attainments, to realize what we already are. Which is, yes, impermanent, imperfect, flawed, falling apart, dying, birthing, interdependent, independent. And at the core of it all, inherently held, supported. You inherently belong just as you are always. This realization isn't about abandoning what's here to get better. The realization is abandoning the getting better to be here. But there are so many ways that we subtly get better, with so many identities that we subtly conform and create and manipulate, and then they seem satisfying, but then it's got to get a little bit more, got to push a little bit more, got to be a little bit stronger, got to be a little bit more appealing, got to be a little bit more wealthy, or get a little more attention, or clean up the mess that's a little bit too much. But play it cool, don't be too uptight. Like, there's always the improvement of identity, of being a somebody. And that's across the board, spiritually, in your relationship with your partner, with your family, with your parents, with your children, with your boss, with yourself. How are you trying to improve? What box are you trying to improve into? And what is that box excluding? What is that box avoiding that's here right now that just feels like a little bit too much, or a little bit not enough? The truth is that we are space. If you want to put a concept there. But don't hold it too tightly, because the mind can create it into something safe. But the truth is, whether or not we improve or get worse, whether or not apparent changes are pleasant or unpleasant, there's nothing solid at the center of what's changing. And there's nothing solid at the apparent outcome, which really isn't an outcome. It's just another moment within the change. So just as this strong arising of whatever, accomplishment, failure, contraction in the body, dissociation, confusion, rejection, the breeze, sunlight. You often hear this phrase, I often use this phrase of give whatever's arising space to be as it is. What that really is pointing to is when it's not managed, it's not manipulated by some believable agenda, then it will rise and fall, it will shift, it will linger. It may seem to linger forever. And the accessing of the space, the so-called space, the emptiness, the oceanic abiding thisness that allows and holds and intimately contacts what's arising as it's arising and changing and unfolding. Is inherently okay with this impermanence, this pain, this suffering, this nobody, this somebody. The more freedom it has to hold that, the more that expression in and of itself settles and is seen to be the same space. At the core of it, there's nothing. There is this thisness. And it's okay. We talk about the nervous system constantly protecting, constantly okay, not okay, constantly gauging the environment in this relative sense. And unless and until we awaken to that too, we'll be stuck in the relative security or insecurity of the self, of this real, actual being that's here on the relative level, that has a heartbeat that will end someday. That this system, this embodied system, is designed to protect relative security, relative insecurity, of course. And that too doesn't need improvement. Could never be improved. And is often fought. Like when we see this objectified self as some project, even subtly spiritually, to be somebody that needs to get better. Or there's somebody that's never going to get better. Because even that doesn't need improvement in the contact with this inherent security that is unconditional, that is okay with our impermanence, that doesn't indulge pain or suffering or in nihilism or cruelty. Because those unconscious patterns in and of themselves are kind of the flip side of the improvement project. The flip side of subtly making things just a little bit worse. Subtly needing to manage and color and interpret. And confirm the relative insecurity of this being. No. This awake, unconditional security denies nothing and embraces us, embraces life. It's this fabric, unless it's actually made contact with on all levels, mind, heart, intuition, relationship, body, mind, body, nervous system. Unless that is digested, realized, integrated, not conquered, not sat upon as something that I've attained, but embedded in almost subconscious or non-conscious in the way that it just becomes the fabric of who we are, this security of life, always changing. This delusion and disillusion of self always falling away. The naturalness of that, the perfection of that, the friendship with that, the friendship with life coming out of that from this space, this emptiness that is never alone. That's what can't be conveyed by these words, is emptiness, spaciousness conveys this kind of isolation, this kind of island. And really it's a homecoming.